I'm standing next to one of the cleanest, lowest mileage second gen Mazda RX-7s known in existence. Now, Mazda made the second gen or FC RX-7 from 1985 to 1992. And during that time, they built only 1,500 10th anniversary editions, which this one is right here. This is an 80s time capsule. And today, we're gonna crack it open and we're gonna show you 5 things even the most die-hard fans might not know about this car. We're going bumper to bumper on the FC RX-7. It's rotary time. Thanks to Ring for sponsoring this episode of Bumper to Bumper. If you want to feel safer at home and know what's going on when you're not there, well, Ring's wireless security system is for you. Now, I've replaced my own old boring ding-dong doorbell with a Ring video doorbell system. I can be anywhere in the world and see what's going on at my front door and even hear or speak to whoever's there using only my phone. It's good for adding some security to my place, and my mailman and I have kindled up the beginnings of a fresh new friendship. He doesn't get frightened when I yell, "Thanks, baby," anymore, so I'd say we're freaking bros now. And because you're part of the Donut fam, you have a special offer on a Ring welcome kit that includes a video doorbell and a Chime Pro. Go to ring.com/wheelhouse, that's ring.com/wheelhouse. Thanks for supporting the companies that support Donut. So before we get into this, we gotta appreciate what we have before us. This car, this 1988 10th anniversary RX-7 has only 1,803 miles. Now, if you do the math, that's 56 miles a year. Now today, we're gonna use this example to dish out some of the interesting details on one of the most beloved cars to ever leave Japan, starting with the looks. Now, if you take a look at it, you might think, this looks kind of similar to maybe a Porsche 924 or 944. And if it looks similar, well, you'd be right, because it's almost modeled exactly like it. See, Mazda knew how popular the 944 was in the American market. And America is where the majority of all the first gen RX-7s were sold. So they had this idea. They were like, hey, why don't we use the 944 to help style the car and become a rival of that German brand? Now there's a big misconception out there that the designer of the 924 also designed this car, Harm Legay. He didn't do it. That's not true. That's false. This car was just copied by Mazda engineers. So I hope that answers your questions, because you guys asked us on the community page, which, speaking of, start using that community page on YouTube. We're gonna be asking a lot more questions, and we wanna give you some answers when we shoot bumper to bumper. Now, while the cars might look very similar, they're very different animals. The engines are different. Inside the car is very different. The suspension setup, all that stuff is all very unique to each one. But to add insult to injury, this car copied the Porsche's looks and then went on to beat it in Car and Driver's best list in 1986 and 1987. It was also Motor Trend's import car of the year in 1986, and it beat out Porsche's 924, 928, and their flagship 911. So the Porsche boys were a little pissed, because you could get a similar looking and slightly better performing car for $10,000 less money. So when you look at this car, your first thing is, yeah, they stole Porsche's design. But you also look at it and think, man, that thing screams freaking 80s. And this thing, it's got some sweet pop-up headlights. Max, pop me on over there. So let's talk about pop-up headlights for a second. You guys know the song. We made a slapping beat all about these engineering marvels. Pop-up headlights were at its peak in the 80s, and they even made them all the way up into the early 2000s. The Corvette C5 actually has them on them. But they were taken away from us because of more strict regulations involving pedestrian safety. Once a lot of manufacturers started using pop-up headlights, they used some shoddy electronics, and so they would sometimes open, sometimes not. They'd get stuck, they'd go up and down. You've probably seen a lot of like the winking faces, winking eyes with pop-up headlights. They're not as safe as you would probably want headlights to be. Which brings us to our second fact about the FC RX-7, and that's this clear lens right here. Say you're driving your car during the daytime and you wanted to flash your lights. You got pop-up headlights. You don't have to pop them up, flash the light and then bring them back down, that's way too much work. And so the Mazda engineers designed this clear lens right here. And so when you flash the bright lights, you can see it through this clear lens. Pretty cool little touch. You don't need a dedicated bright light flashers during the day. Another thing that makes these pop-up headlights even sweeter is that they're squirters. So apparently, if you want to clean your lights, you can squirt some juice on them, and that's the way to clean them. They don't wipe, they don't do anything, they just squirt juice, and it really squirts you. And just to clarify, by juice, I mean windshield washer fluid. So how about we go to the inside and see what other tasty little treats are in this cool 80s mobile. First thing when you get in this car, it's super comfortable. Now this was built as a touring car. It wasn't a strictly sports car. So it actually is pretty roomy. This leather is freaking nice, man. It's so soft, super soft. And everything in here is all original. The head unit, which has all these kind of like Space Mountain-y, looks digital, but it's all analog. In terms of being the most tricked out cassette player you could ever have in a factory car, this car has it. First of all, you can select your tape type. So back in the day, depending on the type of tape you recorded to, you could optimize your settings for that. You could also optimize your EQ. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different EQ adjustment tabs. Has these twisty knobs for all your important functions like your windshield wipers, your pop-up headlights, your pop-up headlight mister, in case you want to get squirted. Now, aside from all the features in this car that are standard in RX-7, this is a 10th anniversary and it got a couple different upgrades. It got a Momo steering wheel, a Momo shifter, and it's got 10th anniversary embossed right on the front, which is really, really cool. Which brings me to my third fact about this car, and that is that they made 3 special edition RX-7s from the factory. The Infini, which was a JDM only model. They made the GT-US, which was the Turbo 2 platform, which didn't have a turbo in it, which was kind of weird. And then they made the all-white 10th anniversary editions. Now, companies all the time go hog wild with special editions, and this is one of those editions that they built just to sell more cars. There's nothing particularly different about this car, except for a couple different added things. It has bronze tint on it. Like I said, it has different steering wheels, but from a performance standpoint, it's the exact same car as the Turbo 2. It's more of an aesthetics package, but you know, gotta sell cars somehow. Okay, so I'm gonna take a good old friggin' whiff. This smells like a brand new car would. You can smell the leather. It's new leather. That's the overbearing scent when you get in this car, is just new car smell, new leather smell. It has kind of like, it doesn't smell old and musty. It literally smells like a brand new car. And again, this car is 32 years old. Go into your dad's closet, sniff his leather jacket. That's what this smells like. So you guys want to hear what a 1,800 mile 13 BT sounds like? Ooh. I want to give her the berries. It's really smooth. There's like no vibration in this car. All right. Now we didn't hit red line there, but if we did, you would have heard something. You would have heard a little, and And that's because this RX-7 has a shift buzzer. You might have heard of a shift light, a light that illuminates when it tells you it's time to shift when you hit red line. Instead of having a shift light, this car has a shift buzzer. That's a rotary thing that Mazda developed, and it's all because of what's going on under that hood right there. Now, the whole reason that this car has a shift buzzer is because of this little puppy right here, the 13B Turbo 2 rotary engine. So rotary engines are known to be high revving. They're not like a reciprocating engine where you got a lot of moving parts going up and down. Everything is rotational. So a couple of benefits to that. One, there's no vibration. This car, when I started it before, you can barely feel anything moving at all. There are some people who think that there are reliability issues with these motors. Because it's rotary, it can over rev and it can go too high in the rev range and blow up. So they have a reputation for being somewhat unreliable, but that's really not all that fair. If you keep oil in this motor and you don't over rev it, these things are very, very reliable. And that's not to say that you should baby it. No, don't do that. Don't baby a rotary. You gotta get it up in the high RPMs every now and then, or else it'll just build up carbon deposits, and you don't want that. So if you do have a rotary, give her the beans every now and then and get her up there to 7,000 grand. 7,000 grand. Now this is a 1.3 liter rotary engine. It makes 182 horsepower and 183 foot-pounds of torque. And because this engine is so small, they can put it more towards the center of the car. Now this car has a perfect 50-50 front and rear balance, which makes it really, really good under the hands of professional racers. Where my red sons at? And speaking of racing, this car was really good in the IMSA series it competed in. So good that we're gonna go to the back and show you another fun fact about this FC RX-7. Now this car came ordered with factory louvers. Some people don't like them, some people do, but we're gonna pop them open because what I really wanna show you is what's underneath these louvers. These things, they feel like I could rip them off. They're pretty fragile, and you gotta hold it. So washing your rear window is a two-person job. But the thing that I wanna show you specifically is this little sticker right here, which is our fifth fact. And that is that the RX-7 won the IMSA GTU Championship from 1980 to 1987. And they have special stickers put on the car from the dealers, and they change depending on the year of the car. This one, since it's an 88, says IMSA GTU RX-7 Mazda Manufacturers Championship 1987. You don't see these on a lot of RX-7s, one, because certain dealers didn't put them on, and two, they probably got removed over the years. But this one has it, it's original from the factory, and it's pretty sweet. If you wanna know how a 1,800 mile mint condition FC RX-7 came about, the story is actually really super interesting. So the person who found this low mileage car was Cody Walker. His wife's grandfather went into a dealership to buy a truck and walked out with a truck and this car. It sat for 20 years under a cover until Cody discovered it, and then he sold it to my man Sean Lee, who brought it all the way down from Oregon to the streets of Southern California. Sean has only put about 600 miles on this car over the last 5 or 6 years. So he's saving this car by driving it around a little bit each year.
So I was at JCCS and somebody made me an offer I couldn't refuse, so I sold the RX-7. Yeah, I couldn't resist. Proud owner of the lowest mile FC in the world.
James did not buy this car from Sean Lee. It's part of Sean Lee's collection of cars. It's not James. James likes it, I like it, but Sean won't sell it. So we're busting myths. Bye for now.